Watch that dial. It's the Mid-Morning Rush Show with Emilio Wagbar.
Welcome back to the second half of the show, ladies and gentlemen. It's the Mid-Morning Rush Show on your dials from 10 till noon here on KKSJ, Kawon J Radio. And I want to say thank you to each and every one of you out there that's tuned in and listening right now. Definitely want to say we appreciate your ears here for listening to the show this morning. And if you happen to do so, man, please make sure you're following us on IG at EJP Entertainment to stay up to date with everything related to EJP Entertainment. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as I said at the beginning of the show, I may have a special guest for y'all. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, we have got that on lock for y'all. So please help me welcome back to the show. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we have LaConda Davies back in the building. LaConda, how's everything? Welcome back. How are you?
Hey, thank you for having me, Emilio. I'm good. I am awesome.
That's good to hear. Welcome back to the show, and we are glad to have you. For those of y'all out there who recall, we had LaConda on the show a few months ago, and we was, talking about one of her new singles at the time called Lights On, which everybody out there knows by now. Yes, I got a little emotional listening to it the first time I heard it because it's just that great of a song. And now we have LaConda back here today. So welcome back to the show. And when I realized that you have a lot of great things that have happened for you since that time. So, let's go ahead and get into it. For those of y'all out there who don't know who LaConda is, we're going to give her a chance to reintroduce herself to y'all. So if you would, the floor is all yours.
Hey, okay. Hey, this is LaConda Davies, and I'm back with a new single. This one is really special to me. And I was just like, when I found out you liked it and you were ready to play it, I was like, yes, let's go. So I'm excited.
Yes, I'm actually excited as well. So, for this new single that we're talking about right here, we are definitely going to get into that, in just a few. But for the people out there that's listening right now, how about you give them a little insight on what the single is?
Okay, the single is called I Ain't Going Nowhere. So this single I wrote this. Okay, so let me give you the backstory. Okay, so I met a guy, and he was, to me, after dating, it was like perfect. I was just like, but he was kind of scared. And I'm just like, what he had told me about his, what he had gone through in life and, with, other females. And I was just like, I'm not like that. I'm who I am. And this is me my whole life. I don't change. This is it. Mm-hmm. And so he was sold on it, but still scared. So I wrote him this song, and I was just like, look, if you want it, I ain't going nowhere. If you want something real, I'm not going nowhere. Just claim it. Mm-hmm. And so while we were dating, I wrote the song for him, let him hear it. He loved it. And we ended up getting married. He finally was just like, I believe it. I'm marrying her. So we got married.
Hey, congratulations.
Thank you.
You're absolutely welcome.
Look, I didn't do any witchcraft or anything, but I guess the song just kind of, he believed me. So, but yeah.
That's good to hear. And I understand, for most of us men, especially those of us who have been through some, bad relationships, we have right. that little sense of, apprehension when we're getting into a new situation and we have somebody that's truly all there and all about us and everything. So,
right.
Once again, congratulations to you and to your husband. That's dope to hear, especially in a time right now where we need a lot of positivity. That is really good. I'm glad to hear that. So how does it feel to you being married now?
It's awesome. It is awesome. And I'll tell you why. Because I've been in relationships in the past, and being in this industry is hard because it's the industry. It's the limelight. It's the, people are starstruck sometimes, and sometimes the pressure is on, on your partner, and they're just, and jealousy kicks in, and then they just don't, it's a bunch of mess sometimes. This industry it's hard on a relationship. But in this one, he's 100%, 120% supportive of me. He's just like, do it, babe. Just let me know what you need me to do. He's just like, just do your thing. Mm-hmm. And so it makes me, it allows me to be myself and be free at doing it. Cause it's just like, it's almost to where I'm just like, you don't have any restrictions. Can you give me some restrictions or something? And so, but it's not like that. And it's wide open, and he's supportive. He loves it. He calls me his R&B singing queen. So I love it. I'm loving it. I finally found someone that's, that's supportive and doesn't get in the way.
Oh, that is absolutely good. You know, especially being in the industry like this, you know, where you're constantly around so many different people, especially men in the industry and stuff like that. So it's always good to have that supportive spouse that's there to, you know, be there with you and all that good stuff.
Right. And it helps that I'm independent because I am the producer and the engineer, and, you know, I don't have to go to a studio. I own the studio. I do everything in-house. So that helps too.
I was just about to ask you now, was this another one that you know, did yourself? And you just answered my question for me right there. Cause I remember before when we had the conversation, you told me that everything you do as far as your music, you have your hands completely on it 100%. So once again, you created another banger.
Yes, I did. Yes. Thank you. And so, Amelia, let me tell you this too. So this is the thing. Not only did I write this song for my husband, I released it, but he doesn't know that I released it. So I released it for his birthday. He does not know it yet. His birthday is next week. And so I've been doing all this running around and doing the interviews and talking with people because on his birthday, everything that I've done, I'm just going to put it in his face for his birthday. Like, look, babe, this is what I did for you. So this is like a surprise release for my husband.
Nice. So how have you been able to manage, you know, keeping this secret until, you know, his birthday next week?
Well, one thing he doesn't do, he doesn't check my social media.
Okay.
So we're friends on Facebook together and Instagram, all the platforms, but he doesn't like go and check and see what I'm doing. So I can post things and he'll never go and look at it. And so I'm able to do that and still I'm able to do all these things and him not, you know, go and look. So and when I talk on the phone with people, he's just like, he doesn't ask questions. He hears me talk and I just leave certain things out that I don't want him to hear, and, you know, as far as with the birthday thing and the surprise. So I still have the conversation because he knows this is what I do. So he's not, you know, like tuning in, like, what is that? What are you talking about? So he doesn't do that.
Right. That's what's up. And let me ask you, you know, with that being said, you know, with the song being out there now, you know, you haven't made your rounds on various platforms and different shows and everything. What has been the response you have gotten from it?
You know what? I am so shocked at the response I've gotten. Soon as we released it and it was on a lot of the platforms, I mean, DJs were picking it up. They were like, you know, reaching out to my guy, Terrence, and Terrence was like, yo, FM has picked it up, this radio station. I'm like, really? He was like, yeah, people are like asking, they're already, you know, they already have it. They're letting me know that they're going to put it in rotation. I'm like, really?
Nice.
And so so it's really getting a really fast response. And I wasn't expecting it to be this fast, but I know it's a good song. I love all my songs, but this one, I dance to it. Me and my husband, we dance to it because it's hot. I love it.
Now, you know, that is good because I feel like, you know, and I've made this, you know, very clear, you know, once before in the past previous times. And I say, you know, a lot of the music that we hear, especially right now, a lot of people that, you know, call music R&B, we're not hearing it like in the sense of traditional R&B like we used to. And then this one right here kind of gives me that feel again.
Yes, thank you. And that's what I wanted to do. I want to bring back R&B that you can see the vision with it. You know what I mean? Just you can feel it, you can see it, and it makes sense. Not that everything doesn't make sense now in R&B, but you know, you know what I mean. So I'm just like, let me bring this, let me bring conversation back into the music. You know,
right? And that's good because you know, a lot of the music now you listen to, like, you know, we said before, you know, a lot of it has become, you know, overly sexualized, which is, you know, I'm not knocking anybody, but you know, sometimes, you know, you still like to hear those good love messages within the R&B music, you know, especially, you know, me, I'm one of them type of people. I like to be able to take a song and dedicate it to my significant other, let her know how I feel about it. And sometimes, you know, the words, you can't express it yourself. So sometimes, you know, a real good song will take care of that for you.
Right. Exactly. And you know what? I'm hoping, and when I finished writing this song, although I wrote it for my husband, and I kept in mind that I wanted other people to relate to it. Because a lot of us go through this. I mean, relationships is the era that we're in right now. Relationships are like shaky. People just think people are artificial, and people don't know how to maintain relationships anymore. People, it's social media driven, and I hate it. So I want to get back to the real in relationships. Like, no, come on, we gotta fix this. And I believe that we can fix it with music. Honestly, I think music can fix the world. That's my thinking. And I can be on my own, but that's what I feel.
I totally agree with you. And one thing I would like to, ask you, with that being said, with the music and all that stuff like that, with, damn, I just lost my train of thought. We'll come back to that one once I get there.
Okay.
But I do have a question from, one of the listeners that's listening right now. And they want to ask, with, getting attention from like mainstream platforms, will it change you as far as remaining independent, or will you actually, if, you have some like labels or other distribution deals come your way, will you sit down and listen to them, or do you want to, stay the independent route?
You know what? I will. I'm open to other. Yeah, I'm open to that. I'm always open to that. If it makes sense, if it meets, yeah, I'm open to it. Let me just say that I am open to it. Mm-hmm. I'm very open to it.
Cool. But in your heart,
I want to expand. I want to, grow. I want to do this. I want to do the entertainment business, but I want it to be something that does not make me to where I'm compromising something to where I'm just like, wait, I'm losing myself in this. I don't want to do that. So yeah,
that right there, I totally agree with you, because you have these artists, they start out as independents and they have a real strong run, and then all of a sudden, I don't know, it's just like once they sign those deals or whatever, it's like a lot of things change, and then it's like it's not the same anymore. Like I take for example, one for me that stands out is Drake, because when he first came out, I was a bigger fan of Drake then than when he was now after he got signed. When he was more so independent, I was a bigger fan of his music because you could actually hear the hunger and the music he was putting out. It's like after he, signed his deals, like a lot of things changed, so that's the reason why I asked that question as well too.
Yeah, no, yeah. I don't want it to change who I am. I don't want them like, okay, you're going to be this, you're going to do this, you're going to put this out. We got your best interest and we know this is going to work. No, I put too much work into what I've done. And I'm like, if you can't, my thing is if we can't meet somewhere halfway, it's not going to work, because I won't give you more control of me and my career than I have. I can't do that. I won't allow that.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that. And that's one of the biggest things, like, myself, when I was more active in pursuing a career as an artist myself, I was a little too reluctant to really get too deep into, because I didn't want to give up or surrender, my creative freedom. I didn't want to give up the things that help, propel me as being an artist, just to be able to sign the deal and to have these things that, a label may provide,
Right. Absolutely. And you know what? And we both know how this industry works when they're signing new artists, especially if they're looking for the fame, and and they will give up everything for it.
Oh yeah.
They don't even have to be making any real money. Just put them on TV, give them a social media presence, and they're good. And they're just gonna make money off of them. And that's to each his own. Mm-hmm. But yeah, me on the other hand, no. Because I've branded myself. I put too much money into myself to give up, who I am for them to make money off of. We'll make good money, but at the end of the day, I got to sleep and know that I'm still LaConda and I'm still, doing me. So yeah,
absolutely. And with that said, now that you have the single out there, is getting around, it hasn't gotten to your husband yet, but it's definitely making its way
Not
on
yet.
the airwaves.
Right. Exactly.
Are we going to be talking, an album soon?
Yes, I'm actually I put the single out. This will be on the album, but yes, I'm working on a full R&B. It's a 90s inspired R&B album. It'll be ready next year, but it's going to be, oh my gosh, you don't even understand. We're talking about back in the days was like SWV. And I'm just like, I want to bring back that feel good R&B. It's not overly sexual. And don't get me wrong, I have overly sexual songs too that I've put out in the past. I love them. But at the same time, I have to counter that with some good music, like, some really positive and family music. Right. So I write everything. And so this time I was just like, you know what? I want to put out a 90s R&B song.
Nice.
With music.
Nice. Now, that's one thing, that's one trend. I don't even want to call it a trend. I just see, you know, a lot now that you have a lot of artists that are drawing from the 90s era when it comes to music and their production and their style that they looking to go in that direction. Right. Now, can I ask, like, what has been one of the main things that inspired you to go down the, you know, revisiting the 90s era when it comes to the music?
Kids. These teenagers. I'm gonna tell you why. Because I noticed that I was somewhere and some kids were listening to some old school R&B and they knew the words to it. And I was like, y'all like that? They were like, yeah. And I'm like, y'all don't even know nothing about that. But when they were listening to it, I was just like, you know what? Let me give them this. Let me go back and give them that. And so that's what inspired me to go ahead and say, you know what, forget it. I don't care what everybody else is doing. Let me do what I feel. I'll break the trend. I'll bring it back again. I'm good with it. I'm good at being in the lane by myself and, you know, and fighting my way through the crowd. So that, you know, that's just me looking at these younger kids now that's listening to the, you know, the New Edition. You know, they came out with the movie and New Edition, you know, got in these kids' ears and they're loving it. Like, yeah, this was good music. And so they're researching and finding out what else was out during then. Now they're listening to it. And so I'm like, yes, it's like, let me get in that lane real quick.
And that's one of the good things I do like now that, you know, you have, you know, a lot of the kids in this generation, they're starting to, you know, go back and look into these things. You know, you had a lot of them at first, you know, they wanted to kind of like, you know, not really be too caught up or really understand or know the history of what they're getting themselves into. But, you know, you're starting to see an influx of, you know, the younger generation that is going out there and actually going back and doing their research on a lot of this. And the responses that I've been seeing from a lot of them has been, you know, a good sign to me. Cause, you know, right now, you know, when it comes to the music, if it's not hot right away or maybe hot for like a few minutes and then that's it. You know what I'm saying? Like now you got a lot of people that are starting to look for substance in the music, and that's a good thing.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. So with that being said, you know, we here, it's getting into the fall months, going into the winter months and all that good stuff. So with the music being out there right now, do you plan to do any performances or anything?
I do plan on it. I absolutely do plan on it. So once the surprise is out, I'm going to be collaborating because now my husband will help, you know, with doing tours and stuff like that. So I know he'll set all that up for, you know, the upcoming months, the new quarter and everything. So I'm definitely going to be hitting the road with this one and the rest of the music.
Nice. So what we're going to, you know, where can we expect to see you popping up at?
You know what? Emilio, where are you at right now?
Oh,
Tell
New
me
York.
again.
I'll be
in New York.
Nice.
I'll be in New York. That's
nice.
where I'm gonna be.
That's what's up.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So, you know, we definitely want to say thank you, you know, for taking the time out, you know, to call in here on the show and everything. You know, we do appreciate you.
Me.
Absolutely. Yes. You know, like we said before, we'll always roll out the red carpet for you to come back, you know, whenever you want to, you know, drop by, share new music with us, you know, come up here, have a conversation with the listeners and all that good stuff, take questions. We always here for you for that one right there. So before we get ready to get everything, you know, squared away and get to your new music, is there anything you would like to say to the listeners out there that's listening?
I want to tell everybody out there listening that I don't care what you're doing in life. Pursue your dreams. Don't let anybody control your destiny. Do exactly what your spirit tells you to do and complete it, no matter what. If it's music, it's business, I don't care what it is. Do you. Don't give up. And
Absolutely.
Then, you know.
And I like what you just said just now, because that's one thing I even wrote on the sticky tab for myself. If you start something, finish it. And that's one thing, you know, you know, that's one thing I need to get more discipline on, because I get a lot of things started, but I don't never really finish a lot of stuff. So I'm glad that you said that. Thank you.
Well, stop procrastinating and come on and do it.
I got you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And for everybody else out there, like we said, we have the brand new single that we're about to get into up next from LaConda. And this one right here is called I Ain't Going Nowhere. So keep it locked right here to the Mid-Morning Rush Show on KKSJ, Kawon J Radio. We'll be back with much more right after this.
Don't touch that dial. It's the Mid-Morning Rush Show with with Emilio Wagbar.